it normal? I can feel my heartbeat in my feet. Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not, dying. Okay, I wrote this short story for a creative writing class. I wrote it in 2 hours, and on a whim, I submitted it here. I'm so glad I did, because I really loved how it turned out. So here is Coup d'etat. Cooper Data took a long drag from his vape pen. Opaque pomegranate steam billowed from his pursed lips, straight into the face of a passing paper-laden lawyer. In a spray of legal documents, the lawyer tripped over a loose sewage grate and went sprawling. Coop snickered and stored his vape pen in a pocket of his cashmere suit jacket. He'd put it off long enough. It was time to run his company to the ground. Strawberry blonde dreadlocks bounced as Coop entered the skyscraper, green eyes flashing with manic excitement. Secretaries with short skirts and high standards giggled and undid the top buttons of their blouses as Coop strode past. That's right, ladies, get some practice in. On the street, your bodies will be your only assets. The board was waiting for Coop in the conference room. A toad-like man with a cheap toupee scoffed when Coop entered. You'd think you'd be in time for your last meeting as CEO. Richard, you're looking good. Drained the blood from any virgins lately. Coop let out a light-hearted laugh, masking the cold fury bubbling in his stomach. He'd expected to be usurped eventually, but he hadn't expected bootleg Dick to be the usurper. I'm kidding, old bud. Let's get down to business. The negotiations started. How much Coop would get as severance, where the company was going from there, how long the transition would take. With a woeful sigh, Coop rested his hands on his chin. I have to say, it's been an honor. I'm so happy that my baby will live on in your very capable hands. That's very mature of you, sir. Richard gave a shit-eating smirk as he slid the final legal document to him. Coop had to resist the urge to punch every single tooth out of his gingivitis-racked gums. Yes, it is. Coop pulled out his phone, casually pressed a button, and elegantly signed his severance papers. With a jaunty bow, Coop strode out of the meeting room and into the main lobby. The lights started to flicker, and below the polished floors, Coop heard the computer servers desperately whirring. It's funny how fast a virus can tear through a tech company. Coop took a drag from his vape pen as he pushed his hand against the glass door and let himself out. Steam from his pursed lips intermingled with the thin tendrils of smoke oozing from between the tiles. Coop stepped onto the street, not bothering to look back as the secretary's desktop caught on fire, and not flinching as tendrils of yellow electricity started to dance across the moist surface of his skyscraper. Richard's skyscraper. A car was waiting outside for him, but he strode past it. Winding through the uptight business district and into the up-and-coming part of town. Stylized graffiti sprang from every wall, advocating for peace and love. College students sprawled on the sidewalk, colored chalk in their fingers, doodling suns and stars. Coop stepped around the students and past a holistic remedy shop, a vegan cafe, their wheatgrass soy macchiatos were to die for, and finally arrived at the yoga studio. Sticks of incense puffed peacefully at the front desk, which was 3 wooden barrels covered in a plank of barnwood. Rustically bound packages of homemade soaps and essential oils slouched casually in rough-hewn shelves. A young woman with henna tattoos running up her neck and a pierced lip looked up and beamed. Long time no see. Rain, it has been a while, hasn't it? Coop peeled off his jacket, buttoned it up, and draped it over ornate wooden hooks nailed to the wall. His Oxfords were clumsily kicked off one by one. Coop didn't bother untying laces. How's Argyle? Getting big, Rain said, pulling a yoga mat from a honeycomb alcove in the wall. He just started preschool, so Amy got back into glass blowing. Glass baubles glittered from knotted twine bracelets and confirmation. Coop used a silk garter to wrangle his head of dreadlocks into a ponytail. Room C? It's all yours. Let me know if you need more steam. Rain held up her hands to cut off Coop's coy response. And no, it's not always steamy when you're in the room. Coup laughed and padded down the hallway, bare feet luxuriating in the intricate texture of the woven bamboo. He found his room and spread out his mat, little beads of condensation already forming on the tip of his upturned nose. The room was dim, steamy from the small vents inlaid in the walls. Wooden beads dangled from the walls, clanking lightly as Coup ran his fingers over them. He let his mind drift as he lay on his back, palms upturned. Breathe in, breathe out. Coup started to cycle through his memories, trying to find his happy place. Elementary school, the smell of old PB&J and spilled apple juice. Little girls with their pigtails bouncing in the fluorescent lights, clamoring to hold his hand and be his desk partner. Boring. No one wanted to talk about the newest computer or the advances in nanotech. They babbled on about cartoons and goofy-shaped rubber bands. The teacher couldn't be bothered to notice how miserable Coup was. Coup got 100% on everything. How could he be unhappy? Middle school, high school, all the same stuff. Perfect Cooper, genius Cooper, be like Cooper. Pushing past that to college. Coup was on track to be valedictorian, so what did he do? He dropped out. Every emotion, fear, love, hate, attraction, had to be magnified 1,000,000 times over. Coup had to feel everything so strongly so he could push away the boredom, the monotony of being himself. God, it felt wonderful. He wasn't even 30 and he'd already built and broken 3 companies. Hell, the only thing he was truly invested in was this neighborhood. Peace was something he'd discovered when he walked down a desolate street, praying to get stabbed or shot, and instead hearing laughter coming from an abandoned shop. A sun-bleached for sale sign was covered by a bright red sold decal. And there they were, Rain and Amy, cleaning and remodeling for their brand new yoga studio. Amy scooched past Rain, buckets of paint strung across her arms like Christmas lights, and gave the other woman an absent-minded kiss on the shoulder. It was so pure, so real, that Coup had to take a knee. They were happy with what they had, and they had each other. No ulterior motives, no grandstanding, just love. They didn't see him as he snuck away, each footstep through shattered glass deliberate. In this neighborhood, they'd be lucky to last a month. There was a fresh corpse on the street every other day, a mugging on the hour. But maybe he could surreptitiously donate to some charities and encourage them to clean up the area, grant some loans to small businesses and start them off in the neighborhood. It took almost 3 years, but Coup transformed the community from no man's land to the trendiest part of the city. Sorry, lost my place. While things were transitioning, Coup would hire out the entire studio for a day and pay extravagant amounts of money just to keep Rain and Amy's dream alive. His phone buzzed from his back pocket, pulling him from his reverie. Coup cracked open his eyes and squinted at the LED screen. A single news alert blared across his screen and a video started playing. It was Richard's skyscraper, a light like a torch at a pagan ritual. The glass windows of the building shattered from the intense heat, raining sharp fragments on the cameramen and firefighters. The video cut to a reporter interviewing Bootlick Dick. An enormous grin split his face as he watched the soot-covered lackey tremble like a leaf, his toupee burnt to a crisp. Coup turned the volume on his phone way up and set the video to loop. He closed his eyes, meditating to the sound of despair, feeling the soft foam mat beneath his spine. Breathe in, breathe out. This was his happy place.